Okay, so I just told you the story called The Lost Colony of Roanoke. It is called The Lost Colony of Roanoke because John White returned 3 years later with food and supplies, and all of the over 100 colonists that he had left behind, including his daughter and his granddaughter, were missing. And they weren't just missing, it is as if they just disappeared with no sign of them. And to this day, 400 years later, we still are not sure what happened to those missing colonists. And so I asked you to think, what is your theory? What do you think may have happened? So let me share with you some common theories of what happened to the lost colonists of Roanoke. There are many theories, so we'll see which one you agree with the most. The first theory is referred to as the relocation theory. To relocate means to move. And so this theory says that, the colonists, when they were waiting for John White to return, decided that the island wasn't safe, it wasn't a good place, and so they left Roanoke Island on a boat for somewhere else in search of a place with supplies. Now, they never did find their bodies or anything, so since no evidence of their new location was ever found, it is believed that their boat was lost at sea. That is the relocation theory. As you're mulling that one over, here's another theory. This theory is called the assimilation theory. To assimilate means to blend in and become part of another group. So here's what the assimilation theory says, that when the colonists who were close to starvation due to a lack of food and supplies were really hurting, that they decided to join a local friendly Native American tribe. Now, if you remember, they had met a friendly tribe from south of Roanoke Island, the Croatoan tribe. And many believed, let me get rid of that thing there. Many believed that those clues I told you, the letters CRO carved into the tree and the word Croatoan carved into the fence post, were clues that they were with the friendly Croatoan tribe and became part of that tribe. And it is believed that we never found what happened to the lost colonists because they really became part of the Native American culture. They weren't English colonists anymore. That is the assimilation theory. I'm going to introduce one more to you real quick, and that is the Indian attack theory. Now, I did not name it. If I named it, I would have called it the Native American attack theory. But this theory basically says that the colonists were attacked by local angry Native Americans. We remember that Sir Richard Grenville, when he first arrived in Roanoke Island or on Roanoke Island, during his first visit, he killed the Roanoke leader. So maybe the tribe was so angry that they killed the colonists while they were waiting for John White to return and did something with their bodies to make them unable to be found. So, of those three theories, the relocation theory, the assimilation theory, or the Indian attack theory, which of those seemed the most likely to you? As if that's not a tough enough decision, how about I introduce two more? In addition to the three I already introduced, another theory is the Spanish attack theory. Now, if you think about it, Spain and England were rivals, and maybe Spain does not want England to claim land in the Americas. And Spain is not far from Roanoke Island. If you remember, Juan Ponce de Leon claimed La Florida, claimed Florida, and made that Spanish colony. So the Spanish are not terribly far from Roanoke Island. Maybe the Spanish attacked the English colonists. Now, of all the theories, the one that I believe in most, I call the big fat liar theory. Let me explain the big fat liar theory to you. This one says that when John White returned to the island 3 years later, he did indeed find the colonists. He found that they were all dead, but he covered that up. He pretended he didn't know where they were and went back to England, not telling a single person that all the colonists had died. Now, let me explain why. Imagine there's a brand new roller coaster, and the first time the roller coaster goes, everyone on the roller coaster dies. When they say, hey, who wants to go next? Are you going to get any volunteers? I don't think so. So if they went back to England and said, all right, on our first try to claim land and start a colony, all the colonists died. Who's next? They're probably not going to get people from England to want to go claim land in the Americas for England. And so they covered up the deaths and acted as if it is an unsolved mystery. So When we're talking about England, in 1587, we had England's first attempt to claim land in the Americas. That story is the lost colony of Roanoke. And if we want to talk about how that story ended, I told you in the beginning it ended in a mystery. Well, that is for sure. But I think we can all agree that it ended in failure. And not just failure, but epic failure. It didn't just not work. Literally over 100 men, women, and children disappeared from the face of the earth. I would call that an epic failure. So think to yourself, which theory do you most believe in? The next video that I'm going to have you play is, I'm going to link it to a different link. It is by Mr. Betts, excuse me, and he is my hero as a history teacher. He made a parody of a song that you probably know very well that is all about the story of Roanoke. So I hope you enjoy it. It is one of my favorites.